Squad.
Wars have a strange way of exposing the true depth of international friendships. For decades, Iran has spoken of a strategic triangle, Tehran, Moscow and Beijing, united by a shared desire to counter American dominance. Yet the unfolding war between Iran and the United States, Israel combined, reveals a stark reality. When the bombs begin to fall, even the closest partnerships often stop short of becoming alliances. Iran today finds itself largely fighting alone. Russia and China have condemned the strikes. They have called the attacks violations of international law and demanded restraint. Russia's foreign minister, Sergei Lavrov, also said Russia will do everything to create an atmosphere that will make US and Israel operation against Iran impossible. But beyond words, the support has been measured, cautious, and conspicuously limited. The absence of direct military or material assistance from Tehran's two most powerful partners highlights an uncomfortable truth of global politics. Nations rarely fight another country's war. For Moscow, the limitations are obvious. Russia is already deeply entrenched in its war in Ukraine, draining its military resources and diplomatic bandwidth. Opening another confrontation with Washington in the Middle East would be strategically reckless. Yet, Russia also cannot afford a collapse of the Iranian regime. Tehran remains critical to projects like the International North-South Transport Corridor linking Russia with India and the Persian Gulf, a vital alternative trade route after Western sanctions cut Moscow off from traditional markets. So, Russia offers political backing, diplomatic support at the United Nations, intelligence cooperation perhaps, but not direct confrontation with the United States. On the other hand, China's calculus is even more cautious. Beijing has strong energy and infrastructure interests in Iran and sees Tehran as an important node in its Belt and Road connectivity network. At the same time, China's economic engine still depends heavily on access to Western markets, especially the United States. For Beijing, openly backing Iran militarily would risk triggering a larger confrontation with Washington at a moment when trade tensions and Taiwan remain delicate strategic flashpoints. China's approach therefore follows a familiar pattern: strong words, calls for ceasefire, and quiet diplomacy, but no direct intervention. This is not betrayal, it is geopolitics. Strategic partnerships are not the same as military alliances. NATO obligates members to defend each other. The Russia-China-Iran relationship carries no such treaty commitments. Their cooperation has always been transactional, built on shared opposition to Western dominance rather than a formal security guarantee. The current war reveals the limits of that arrangement. Iran's leadership may have hoped that a confrontation with the United States would trigger a broader geopolitical pushback from Moscow and Beijing. Instead, Tehran is discovering that even long-standing partners weigh their own national interests first. History offers many such examples. During conflicts across the Cold War and after, countries often discovered that diplomatic friends are plentiful in times of peace, but scarce in times of war. And yet, Iran is not entirely isolated. It retains a network of regional proxies and asymmetric capabilities from missile forces to allied militias across West Asia. These tools allow Tehran to wage a prolonged war on attrition rather than a conventional military confrontation. If the conflict drags on, it could destabilize the entire region, disrupt energy markets, and draw multiple actors into an unpredictable spiral. In that sense, the war is not merely about Iran then. If Iran withstands the assault without regime collapse, it may emerge more deeply aligned with Russia and China in the longer run. If it fails, Washington's grip over the strategic heart of the Middle East could tighten dramatically. For now, however, one reality is clear. Despite its strategic partnerships, Iran's war is largely Iran's alone. And in international politics, that may be the most enduring lesson of all: nations ultimately fight for themselves.
Subscribe to One India and never miss an update.
Download the Oneindia app now.